Mitt Romney will be speaking tomorrow night at the RNC meeting in San Diego, where you are, Mark. His advisors are scrambling to put the band back together as former finance chairman is pleading with his donors to keep their powder dry, and his family is apparently gung-ho about him launching his third White House bid. Certainly looks like Romney is running, but Mark, do you think he really, actually, seriously is?
John, after spending the day here in San Diego at the RNC meeting, I've gone from definitely yes to maybe, which I'll explain in a second. But there is some news here at the RNC. Bloomberg Politics reporting exclusively that Lou Eisenberg is going to transition out of his job at the investment firm KKR and become the national finance chair of the Republican National Committee. That's significant because he is a great fundraiser. Some people are speculating that he's doing it in part to avoid having to choose between Jeb Bush, he's very close to the Bush family, he's a longtime fundraiser, and Chris Christie, his home state governor. So that's a big get for the RNC. Lou Eisenberg, again, reporting to here. He's becoming the finance chair of the RNC. The previous finance chair, Ray Washburn, who was a guest on our show recently, is leaving that post to go work. I've talked to people here who've lobbied him and said he's not. They don't want him to run, and they're doubting in there. And I think some of it's wishful because they don't want to work for his campaign. They're doubting that he's going to make the race in the end because he's getting some discouragement about whether it makes sense for him.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I'm obviously hearing some of the things you're hearing. There's a question of whether, you know, he decided to kind of dip his toe in the water, and when he feels exactly how cold it is, he'll end up deciding that that's not a swim he really wants to take. The problem is, I think, or at least the other side of that coin is just, as we were talking about yesterday, the family seems to be gung-ho about him running. They want him to get in, and family matters more to Romney than almost anything. I think that still is the thing, if he does run, that will end up being the thing that drags him in.
If you put a gun to my sun-dappled head, I'd say he's going to do it because he's getting enough encouragement. Right. And you remember the Romneys in 2012 thought they were going to win the election in part because they were listening to people who were telling them what they wanted to hear. That's a common human trait. I bet he does it, but it's not a sure thing.